What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. It's been a busy week. A lot has happened. We had the whole Iran situation. We saw what could have been the start of war. We saw Bitcoin dropping below $100,000, and it's shooting back up straight away when a ceasefire was brokered. Then the ceasefire was broken. We saw some movement again. Ceasefire was still in place. Planes turned around. I don't know, Trump visiting NATO, visiting Canada, the G7. All in all, we saw a lot of stuff happen again. All in all, the prices, Bitcoin remained relatively stable throughout this. We saw finally some movement on all coins, albeit down primarily, but it also veered back up. So if we follow our strategy, we did our dollar cost averaging moments, we did our due diligence. I managed to buy Bitcoin at 99K and took a few profits now. And I will talk about what I'm expecting next in this video. And will we see a big altcoin season? The rumors are starting more and more. All the signs are indicating it. Everything is pointing at it. And while we can never be 100% certain, I think we're very close. I think it's time to show the altcoins some love. I think it's very close to happening. Then again, I also think Bitcoin is at the verge of something new, a new big push up. Considering all the big news that's coming out, all the big parties adopting Bitcoin, big companies buying strategic Bitcoin reserves, eventually the supply is going to run out, especially the off market over the counter Bitcoin supplies are going to run out, and people will be forced to buy on the markets, even bigger companies, bigger players. And I think this could be the spark of the next big push up, a next big bull run or bullish moment. How it will look, we don't know. We can't know for sure. What we can do is do our DCA moments, follow our buying plan, follow our strategies, and get massive profits we all want in these fearful times, in these weird times. Let's call them weird times. I think that's where the fortunes are made. That's where we secure our profits further along the lines. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this video. One quick moment though, all of this is my own personal opinion, things I see, things I read, things I like to share. So yeah, please keep that in mind and don't blindly do what I do. I wouldn't either. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so here we are back at CoinMarketCap. Uh, as I've stated in the past, the home of our Bitcoin, of our crypto journey, basically, um, we have the Fear and Greed Index. We are in neutral territory today. And I think that's very representative. The market itself today, it's quite stagnant. There's not a lot of stuff happening. We saw the big push down, it corrected back up, and then it sort of ran flat. So it's been a very boring day. If you are in the Discord, I've been talking about it all day. There's not much news. There's not much stuff happening. I think, a good thing that there's not much on the war front or fronts really. So it's been relatively quiet, and I think that's a good thing because I think it's good that markets can consolidate. Yes, we want the big volumes, we want the big movements, so we can profit off of those. We want to be able to buy the fearful moments, but if we keep having those moments, eventually it destabilizes the entire market, and we end up crashing further down. And that's what we don't want. We want a stable base. We want some sideways movements in order to build back up. Now, of course, it's only been today. There, today, tomorrow, next week, it can change on a dime, especially in these current global situations. The unpredictability of Donald Trump, because I'm not 100% certain. Even he knows what he's going to do when he wakes up. But yeah, his policies definitely influence markets worldwide. I mean, that's one thing that's for certain. Um, as I've stated before, if we do dip down in those fearful moments, make sure you have the cash. So right now, Bitcoin is back up at its its previous price, so it's at 107K. So it's roughly where it was before it dumped. So I managed to buy some Bitcoin right below 100,000. So I bought at 99,000, and I took profits off of that this morning. And I did the same thing with Ethereum a little bit, and I did the same thing with uh, Solana and Sui and a few others. Not a huge amounts, but I did buy a little when they dipped and took some profits back out. So I have more cash on the side if we see another push down. Uh, Talking about that, I think it's very reasonable that we do see a bit of a correction now. We do seem to be forming a small downward trend on this. Not to say that, I mean, it does seem to be forming a bit of a downtrend. The day is not yet over. We could push further up. I don't really see it happening. But then again, it could correct back down. We will find support there, and then we go back up. Something to corroborate this, if we look at the liquidation heat map, there are a lot more people longing than shorting right now. And there's nothing the market or market makers like more than hunting stop losses. So if we do see some pushes down, this could cascade the price back down all the way back to 104, maybe 103. Well, I think 103 is a bit far off, but it could correct down back down to $104,000, and maybe we see a little bit more positive buying energy around those prices. Now, in the longer term, what I do think this could spark, considering we see more and more massive adoption. If you go to my Twitter page, I post about this almost every day. I try to share every news I find about this. It's at investing. Frankly, missing the A is frankly. But yeah, it's linked in the YouTube channel as well. So you can just click that link if you want to. And I share mostly positive news about crypto and Bitcoin in general. Supplies on the exchanges are falling to new lows. Bitcoin and Ethereum or crypto in general being allowed as collateral for housing loans. Unprecedented, as something unheard of even a few years ago. This was impossible. So I think this is a very powerful statement. I think this is a very powerful statement for crypto holders, crypto traders, crypto companies, which are also allowed to use this as collateral. And I mean, you started interviewing candidates to replace Powell, but a possible rate cut coming in. As I've said, I've shared a lot of these articles throughout the day, and a good indicator for that altcoin market. I think as Bitcoin will rise, as adoption will rise, I think we will finally start to see more adoption toward the altcoins as well. Considering Bitcoin is quite high up, it is already around 60 to 70% of the total crypto market cap. And considering that altcoins have been bled dry over the last 2 to 3 years, even, I think they are long overdue. And we are already starting to see this because we are starting to see companies like BlackRock buying more Ethereum alongside their Bitcoin investments. So we are starting to see the same ETFs, the same companies, the same backbone as Bitcoin starting to form on Ethereum, and rumors on Solana, XRP, amongst other crypto as well. So as crypto as a whole develops towards this massive adoption phase and being, well, I will say more regulated, but easier to enter for companies. So yes, there's regulation, but easier regulations. We will start to see a bigger inflow of money into the crypto market. Now, the downside right now is because there are supplies left outside of exchanges. There are still a lot of these over-the-counter deals happening on the back end. These are deals that just peer-to-peer trading. So a company sells to another company directly, which doesn't influence the crypto price because it's not being bought or sold on the market. And these are the bigger amounts. So these don't influence market rates at all, and that's why it's not reflected in the price. Now, eventually, these amounts are going to dry up. These amounts are not going to be available anymore. That's when companies, bigger companies, will be forced to buy at market rates. When that happens, is when we will see the total crypto market cap. We will see this amount go up. Now, as the total crypto market cap goes up, it will disperse amongst other cryptos, and predominantly Bitcoin, especially at first, is what I suspect. But we will see more adoption towards the altcoins, and especially the stable coins, which doesn't seem important at first, but holding stable coins is an easier gate to all the other altcoins, which in turn creates more ease of use for everyone, which will eventually, logic dictates that it'll start flowing to other coins, other projects. Now, as I've said, right now, I'm expecting a little drop. After that, we could see Bitcoin shoot back up. This was a prediction I made a while back. We are pretty much on track for that. Be it may that we rejected this price again. We broke down, obviously, because of the whole Iran situation, because as all other assets across the planet, really, we are influenced by news, by big black swan events, big wars, oil shortages, whatever. This will all influence markets. What I do think, though, is that comparatively, Bitcoin fell a small percentage, and it also recovered quite quickly. So the buying power is definitely there. Now, if we continue this downward trend, and yes, we might correct back down to that 100,000. If that happens, I am planning to buy a little bit more. I'll put some limit orders in place. However, if we do see that movement and we do correct that, perhaps it's that 104 where I place that support line where we can see the long liquidations. Perhaps we correct back down here and then we see a bigger push up. I do think a lot of people will be shorting, but I do think the selling pressure will exhaust by then. And considering the state of the American economy and the expected rate cuts, I think it definitely could push Bitcoin possibly up to 120. I think that's a very attainable number. I think this is sort of my mental area where I expect Bitcoin to go in the next few months, and that paired with that crypto in general always around this period of time boomed. July onwards to August has always been quite bullish. So I expect the market to follow its own historic movements. And I also think that's why the markets now seem to die down a little bit between in all of the crazy news. And I think as we head to that altcoin market, I think the altcoins, as I said, they have been bled quite dry. I think it's now time to consolidate, to buy. Basically, I am buying Bitcoin. I'm buying altcoins. I took a little bit of profits, but I only took out 20 or 30%. I kept everything else in, and I'm waiting. I'm either waiting, or if we do see a dip back down to the 100K, I am buying more, and I'm expecting us to go up towards the end of the year for sure. All right, I just wanted to share my analysis update. As I've said, it's not been a very exciting time. Other than that, without, or at least in between the ups and downs, but it's not been very exciting today. If more news comes out, if my vision changes, if anything else comes up, I will be sure to post about it. I will make a video about it. Also, follow my Twitter channel. It's easier to share the news I see, and I make videos about. I share that on my Twitter channel as well, or on my Twitter page, whatever you want to call it. If you want to follow along with me on BitUnix, if you want to trade on BitUnix or on any of the other exchanges I use, I have links in the description below. Feel free to use them. If not, completely fine as well. And if you want to do me a massive favor, please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, let's see you on the next one. Peace.